Alright, let's go together on the software and on the stock price chart in a completely practical way. Let's examine the application of Bollinger Bands together and see how these bands can give us signals and what happens on the stock price chart. In order to actually call up the Bollinger Bands after I have completed the initial settings of my software, in the previous video I mentioned to you to make sure to perform the software settings very precisely. I have done the settings here. The chart scale is logarithmic and ready for analysis. Well, to apply the Bollinger Bands, it's enough for me to type Bol in this section of the Add Indicator window, and after typing this, from the second part of the Indicator section, we select the option BB or Bollinger Band. When we select the BB option, it gives you the period of 42, which we leave as the software default. Down here, you can see the Bollinger Bands, meaning the lower band, the upper band, and the middle band, which is the mid. As previously mentioned, the middle band is essentially a simple moving average, and the upper and lower bands are distanced by 2 standard deviations from the middle band. The colors for the Bollinger Bands are appropriate. The type of line is also suitable, but here you can increase the thickness a bit. I set the thickness to 3 for them, and by pressing the confirm button, in one that the Bollinger Bands are actually displayed on the stock's price chart. Well, dear viewers, the Bollinger Bands provide us with 2 types of signals. The first type of signal occurs when the chart trend is halved, meaning the chart becomes trending, entering an upward or downward trend. The Bollinger Bands open up, meaning the upper and lower bands separate from each other. And when the chart enters a range-bound state, for example, look at this range area. Here, the chart is completely closing, meaning this tunnel that has formed is getting narrower and narrower. And in this area, when you see an upward trend again, the Bollinger Bands open up strongly and create a significant distance from each other. So, the opening and closing of the Bollinger Bands indicate whether the stock's price chart is trending or not. But the next point is the interaction of the stock's price chart with the middle band. You see, when the bands close and the chart enters a range-bound state, the energy of the upward and downward trends of the chart almost decreases. From that point onward, when it enters a new trend again, these bands open up once more. But the important point is that when the stock's price chart crosses the middle band from below, at a certain point, I indicate this with a circle. I give this circle a color. Well, see exactly at this point, when the Bollinger Bands from below, the price chart of the stock cuts the middle band. From below, we have a buy signal or an entry signal into the stock, and Mr. Bollinger himself says that the price chart of the stock spends 95% of its time within my bands. See now, in all the Bollinger Bands, notice that the chart is within the Bollinger Bands. Only 5% of it is actually these outliers, where the chart, due to its significant increase, slightly goes outside the band, which we consider as outliers. Pay attention, Mr. Bollinger says. Mr. Bollinger says that a price chart that crosses the middle band from below to above can ultimately progress up to the upper band. What does this mean, guys? It means that, in fact, the upper Bollinger Band acts as a dynamic resistance for my stock chart, and similarly, the lower band acts as a dynamic support for the stock. It's as if you have an ascending and descending channel, which we became familiar with in previous videos through analysis. It's like you have an ascending and descending channel, but this channel, the stability mode, is completely dynamic and mobile, moving along with the chart, and is not a straight and direct line. So when the price chart cuts through the middle band from bottom to top, we witness a buy signal, and it ultimately moves up to the upper band. And when the chart cuts through the middle band from top to bottom, I consider it as a sell signal. I use this same circle. In this area, you see a sell signal for the stock's price chart. You might wonder why I didn't take a signal in this area to sell my stock. This was the important point I mentioned in previous analyses. These tools alert you to signals that you should act on without bias towards the price chart and without regret about why you didn't sell at a higher price. See, if you had acted on this Bollinger Band, you would have secured a solid and steady profit of about 30% here. And again, the same applies when the chart moves from bottom to top. In fact, here, it crossed the middle band from bottom to top. A buy signal is when it crosses from bottom to top, and a sell signal is when it crosses from top to bottom. The reason for this, guys, is that when I draw the Bollinger Bands indicate that in this area, or even in these areas where it has come down, there is a possibility of the stock returning again. And Mr. Analyst, Analyst, I am giving you a signal. When I, the Bollinger, am sure that it is taking a downward trend and is not going to have an upward trend again. Therefore, that's why I am giving you a definite reversal signal, Dichonan, here, and saying that our trend will be a downward one, and we need to pay attention to it. Well, dear ones, this analysis is related to the Bollinger Bands on the stock's price chart. We will be with you in the next video for the rest of the technical analyses.